Hey there, it's Carlo from Immortal Collections. Today we're going to be sculpting some dragons. Not only big dragons, but little bitty dragons. We're going to do some baby dragons today. Been hearing people talk a lot about baby dragons. I figured I've done like two or three of these big ones now. And since it's Dragon Month, in order to celebrate the complete funding of the Bayathir action figure campaign for Mythic Legions, I'm going to be doing some dragons. This is one I've been working on for a little bit. It's not exactly where I want. It's still a bit of a work in progress, but got some cool things happening here. So I just figured we'd show it off. I like to show off the beginning of the stream with the things I've been working on for the last few weeks here. So trying a new setup here again. I can't stream off of I can't share my screen off of my iPad. So I have to do basically a phone filming of the iPad, but I think it still gets the point across. You can see me sculpt live. So, what have we been into? I've been trying to figure out scale patterns. I've been trying to figure out how I like to do scales. I don't want to say this is a practice piece. I'm sure we'll end up printing this out, but it's not exactly where I want it, like I said. So, a few things that I like to do on these dragons is most dragons are defined by like their cheekbone here and the amount of spikes on their head. So my hope is to just kind of figure out what kind of spikes I like, what I got to do to make them different, and whether or not I want these jaws to be movable or this just to be a solid head. My hope on these dragons are to put them on action figures, and we do 3D printing. If you are familiar with our stuff, you can check us out on Instagram at Immortal Collections 51. So, with that being said, we're gonna start a new file. Um, just gonna go with a regular ball here, a sphere, um, and we're gonna start blocking out the head. Initially, I'm going to go with no perspective on it. And then we're just going to make sure we're mirrored on both sides. We're going to make this bigger and just start into it. So here, I like to start kind of small when I first start, and that fall off was not exactly where I want it to be. So just gonna start moving clay around, virtual clay, if you will. I don't know why they're getting these little indentions here like that. I don't think I've noticed that before, but usually this is softer, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna do a bunch of it. So I'm gonna make my brush real big, kind of pull that in and smooth that out a little bit. I'm gonna pull out a snout a little bit, like so. That is weird. That is that is not something I've encountered before. I don't know why this is happening. It's kind of embarrassing that it's happening on stream, but it is what it is. I'll move over. So basically, I'm gonna pull this. And yeah, I've never seen that happen. I think something's up with this. Do I just keep going with it? Like, see these right here? That shouldn't be. I don't know why that's doing that. I've sculpted on. It's like it's pinching it to this way. See what that does. It's still leaving the pinch marks. That's crazy. I'm going to exit out of this. No, we're not going to save that. Go again. Move tool should not do that. I don't know what I have going on with it. There's 4 minutes in. Let's see if it does it here. Yeah, it does. That's crazy. Well, that's how I adjust everything. So I don't know how I'm going to get anything finalized without the move tool. That's nuts. I don't understand that. Okay. Okay. Got a deal because I'm live. So moving that in, moving that out in somewhat of a snout shape. I'll have to go in and smooth all that down. So what I've noticed about babies, baby Yoda, Grogu, um, little dragons, is if you can see, I just made a couple subtle moves, but I'm already getting a bit of a snout there and getting my basic shape of the dragon. You want to keep the head big and round, okay, kind of like that. And from here, I might just go to the standard brush and start lightly sculpting in some details. Not details, but landmarks on the face. So we're going to figure out where we want the big eyes to be. Now, obviously, um, baby's eyes are huge. So baby dragon's eyes would be huge as well. So I'm just going to put where I want the sockets. Now, another thing about babies are their features are very subtle, and I want this to be very subtle. So I'm going to lightly sculpt in the under the eye socket bone, kind of like that. Okay, and I don't want them to have real thick brows. As humans get older, their brows get thicker, but I want to keep this pretty subtle right here. So we're going to put a spot where we want our nostrils to be in the future, but I'm just kind of building up the form right here. I've noticed that like when people draw baby dragons, they do like almost serpent looking dragons, or some dragons look like cats. Right now I'm going to just try to figure out where I want this mouth to be and how big I want the snout to be. So right there, and we're going to pull it up almost to there. All right, so almost like a snake mouth, and we're going to keep, I don't know if I want to keep it open or closed. I think I'm going to keep this one closed. I'm not going to go into the tongue and all that today. I'm going to have some teeth peeking out, but we're just going to try to keep this cute. Maybe put a little tongue slithering out of there. But you still want it to be a dragon, right? So I'm trying to make it not a snake, but almost. Let's see if this is still doing this. Yeah, you see it's still pinching it there. But when it pinches there, I guess I can deal with that, but just going back in and smoothing that down. But I'm going to try to use the move tool as little as possible. So here's our little baby dragon. I'm going to subdivide that one more time. And we're going to get a little bit better geometry in there. Okay. So with the dragons, you got the scales and stuff. I think we're just going to go ahead and go in with the nostrils, see how I like it. So do I want small ones? Do I want big ones? We're just gonna do that there. Maybe go back a little bit bigger and do the flared part of the nostril. And I'm liking that pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in where I want the eye sockets to be. So we're going to get off of that. And I'm going to draw in here. I'm going to redo that. Redo that. Redo it again. Redo it again. And I'm going to draw in kind of where I want those to be. But remember, we want them real big because to make animals cute, they're going to be big. So I'm kind of cutting into where my eyebrow is already. And I'm trying to think out from a distance, is that big enough? I don't think it's big enough. So I'm going to do this move tool, and I'm going to pull out the non-masked out area there. And you see how the dark stuff is still masked, but the rest of it isn't. So I'm going to pull up this brow a little bit and make these eyes a little bit bigger like that. And you see, I just keep this thing really round. You know what I mean? I think the rounder the cute. If I start angling up all the features, I think it's going to age it up quite a bit. I'm going to do that. I hit the wrong button. Delete. We're going to add a sphere. All right, this is the process we always do. We pretty much block in the face first, and then we go into the sphere for the eyes. So I'm going to scale that down a little bit, move it out. Actually, I'm going to scale it that way. because when I mirror, I'll just mirror it over the other axis. So trying to figure out how big I want these things, right? So is that big? The bigger the eyes, the cuter generally, but you don't want it to look too bug-eyed. So I'm just gonna try to figure out where I like it. I want it to be bigger. All right, now from here, I'm gonna go to geometry, mirror and weld, but I gotta put that over the middle, or do I turn that off? Gotta put that to the middle of the world, the middle of the world. And now when I do that mirror the geometry, I got two eyes there. Now from here, I can figure out how far back I want the eyes, how far out I want the snout. So just bear with me while I fiddle around with this. Now the other thing I need to do is I need to take this back to one of these sides right up here in the middle. This is my pivot point. And we'll put it back where it needs to be, and we'll solo that out because I want to move it not from the middle here, but from the eyeball here. So I'm going to scale that, move that down a little bit, try to get it right in the middle. And again, go to the side, make sure that ball's in the middle there. So now when I have these mirrors on and I close that out, the eyes, I can adjust them symmetrically. So have them big. And we're going to go back over to the head. I'm going to undo that. And this is where the move tool generally comes in, but it's giving me all kinds of issues. So I'm just kind of going to give it a brow, give it the cheekbone out a little bit further, maybe pull that out. See, that's too much. Lost some cuteness there. And then I just kind of fiddle with this till I like it. All these sharp points, I don't know why that is. It's crazy. I got to just deal with it and stop talking about it though. We're going to divide that up a couple more and smooth that out like that. All right, so from here, we got to figure out what kind of spikes we're going to put on it. It should probably have a little bit of spikes, should probably have a little bit of scales, right? You could do, I've seen dragons, let's undo that, make that smaller. I've seen some dragons that have like fur, right? But that's not the one we're going to do today. So just going to dig that in there a little bit to create the bottom lip, okay? And the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add another sphere. All right, these are going to be the teeth. So I just soloed that out so I can see it. And we're going to go back to the move tool. I was just working on this thing. And that's giving me a nice little point there. But it's going to be the little tooth. And we're going to smooth that down. And this is going to double as my tooth and my horn for the beginning. Again, that thing comes in huge. And you see it's all kind of like not straight up and down. It's got this tooth shape to it right here. So from here, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just smooth it down from all the angles to see which one I want. He's got a little hat on now, but we don't want that. So I'm going to go to the side. We're going to shrink that down. Shrink it down some more. Do I do the one tooth sticking out? I don't know. Kind of rotate that here. Just kind of have it sticking out like that. And move it over a little bit. Kind of like that. Want it to kind of just mesh in with the body there. And if we 3D print this, we're going to have to like put supports on there. But if it's flat to the body, we won't have to. So let's see if we like that. I'm going to get out of that mode and just throw that there. And it looks like it could be a little wider. So we're going to try to widen that up a little bit. That didn't do what I wanted to do. Maybe I'll rotate that. Make it real small. Again, the bigger features on it will make it look older, right? And I don't really want it to be older quite yet. All right, so there's that one. I'm going to copy this. Just duplicate, duplicate there. I'm going to move it over here. I could probably go to mirror under deformation. That worked. We're going to have to put the pivot point back to the middle, make it go straight up and down. Go back to the front view. And there we go. All right. So that tooth's kind of poking out. It's kind of floating on top. So I have to take the bottom jaw. And we can do it that side too. I have to get this as close to the lip as I can. And then from here, I'm going to go in with just a little bit. I'm going to select the head. So I'm going with just a little bit of bump right here to make it look like it's protruding out of the lip. See that? And I still have this on symmetrical. So we're going to give it a little bit of a lip now. A little bit of a bottom lip. And the top lip overhangs on all things for the most part, unless they have some type of underbite, which is not cute. So we're going to put that there like that. Just kind of make this up here, make its lips up here. And now you see those teeth are seated straight in there like that. So like in that for the most part. Now this bumpiness around the teeth, that's going to be where the scales are anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. We're going to turn this down a little bit here, and I'm just going to pop them cheeks out a little bit more. Maybe sink this in a little bit. Right now I'm just kind of feeling it out. I'm trying to figure out if I want my eyes to be bigger. See if I scale them up, what that looks like. Push it back a little bit. And see, now those eyebrows are looking a little angry. And I want them to be, oh, that's the wrong thing. I want the eyebrows to be like happy, like a dog, like a innocent little puppy or kitten. So I have to kind of open them up like that a little bit more. See how he's looking, or she. And we don't have a gender on the thing yet. Kind of looking happy. So that's feeling a little cute. Let me see what we can do here. You can pull those nostrils out just a little bit. And then we're going to push that in just a little bit like that. Maybe bring out the brow that way. But every time I make a change, I got to go back just to see if it's going where I want it to go. All right, so we talked about giving it other horns, right? So little baby dragon horns. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to copy this one, duplicate it. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to move it up. And these horns might be a little hard as far as like sharpness and take away from the cuteness. So I might go back in and just kind of smooth that down like that. You see that right there? If you do it like that, maybe it will feel less, it'll be better for you to hold for sure, but it'll feel less aggressive, right? So let's undo that because that. All right, so babies in my head canon, I guess. Baby dragon shouldn't have sharp horns. They're less cute. So one of the reasons, I guess, why they made like Monsters Inc. and Sesame Street all their horns rounded or no horns at all, because they didn't want kids being afraid by the characters. So we're gonna leave that one there just for the heck of it. I'm gonna take another one. We're going to duplicate that one. I guess I didn't leave it there for the heck of it. And we're just going to kind of take this horn, move it around, make it go a little bit more. And it's kind of cool, I think, if the horns kind of aren't straight up and down. So I'm going to move them a little bit. Just kind of do one like that. We're going to duplicate that horn, duplicate it, move it up, make it a little bit bigger. Most things in nature aren't the same horn size, or you know, they get bigger and smaller. It's a rule that I don't remember the name of, but all things in nature go from small to big and they size up accordingly. And I'll remember it once we get off the air, but we're going to duplicate that. My idea for this dragon would be to have like little knee-sized dragons that you can just stick next to your characters, and almost like miniature D&D size prints, but they would be for 1/12 scale figures. I think that'd be pretty neat. All right, so I got that little row going up there. The next thing we do is we're going to, I will actually just duplicate this. A lot of times I try not to duplicate things and get more random, but this stream is going to go shorter today. I'm probably only going to get an hour and a half. I started a little bit late for what I wanted to do, but see, that's too small. Let's see, especially if I print these, 2 inches high. We'll do that one there. And I'll go in afterwards and unsymmetrical up, change the horns a little bit. I'll go to the front, move it. Scale it up a little bit. I think I did that. And probably do one more on the cheek. Scale that up and rotate it there. So I just gotta see if I like that pattern. I like it enough. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all these down into one layer. So we're going to do merge down, merge down. You're going to see, okay, you see all these are, let's see what inflate does to this one. Yeah, it makes it a little bit bigger. All right, so those are in the cheek, right? So there's my horns in my head and my horns in my cheek. Now I'm going to be able to mirror it. So I'm going to take, maybe I take the symmetry off, see if it mirrors over the world. Mirror weld. What's that going to do? Yep, that did what I wanted to do. All right, so now I got those horns on both sides of it. Okay. And I'm going to have to figure out what kind of bigger horns we're going to put in the top of the head. So we're going to grab that one. I'm going to duplicate this one. And then we're going to make that bigger. Right. And I'm going to make it go back. I'm going to make it go like right up against the head like that. And I kind of like that already. I don't want it to be too much. Let's see, it's going straight. Do I want it to go this way a little bit? I think we want that. All right. So I'm going to try to mirror and weld that as well. So now we got two horns right where we want them to be. I got these little teeth. I think the little teeth might be too little still. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this inflate and see what that does. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and just see what it does there. It kind of did what I wanted it to do. What we got here? All right, so then there's this one. We're gonna make that a little bit bigger, just with the inflate tool. See, I think they got a little tall there. I like that one. I'm gonna shift that, select that one, shift it down. And now I'm just gonna keep going back and forth with this. But Is this? Oh, that's well. Can smooth this out again. Real soft for what I'm trying to do here, and I want this just to feel innocent, not angry, cute, baby like baby crocodiles. Those things are not cute, but they are cute because they're little and stuff. So yeah. All right. So from here, I have those horns. I could put hair on it. I could put more horns. I could put crystals. Uh, I don't know. Let's duplicate this. And again, this is just like super basic, but let's see if we do a bigger one. I definitely want to put some ears on it. And see, this is mirrored, so both of those things are gonna go at the same time when I move them. Let's see. Why is that like that? That horn got a lot bigger. It got like crooked. Don't be crooked. Let's see if I can move that to the middle. They're the same shape still? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use the move tool. Let's see what it does to these horns, see if it all messes it up. Okay, it's not on symmetry, so I'm going to turn it back on symmetry. Kind of push it in there. Kind of pull them in there. Maybe pull them forward a little bit. Mark them around like that. It's looking all right. And I also just jump around. So I'm going to go back to this lower lip. I feel like it could be a little bit fatter. So just kind of make it feel kind of like Yoshi from Mario. Kind of like a snake, kind of like a salamander. Is that even working? Yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay. This ridge right here, got to be careful with it because it'll start uh, defining it a little bit more. Maybe I'll do a big old circle there, almost like a iguana circle or whatever. This is where it's gonna kind of get its character from is just these little things I put in here. But at the same time, I could mess it up. So it was cute. Still is cute. As long as it's reading is cute, I can always smooth it back down. And when I smooth it back down, it'll keep a little bit of that shape, but it'll build it up here a little bit too. So I do want to do some sort of jaw. And what I would do normally is I just grab this and I'd pull it out, but see that's making it too angular. It's looking, in my opinion, a little too old. So we'll just go back to the standard brush. And if you look, I've only used a few brushes here. So like when everybody's like freaking out about ZBrush and all the brush options, like you can get away with just using a few brushes. Uh, okay, so see when I smooth that out, it cut away into that mouth that I drew in there. So I go back down in here and put that mouth back in. Well, I like that. Um, Next thing we're going to put on it is some ears. So how are we going to do that? I think we're just going to start with, no, we're going to start with, I could really just do a spike and I can duplicate that. We can scale it up. Where you at? Solo that. All right. All right. Do I still have? Why? No, that's sorry. There we go. It didn't duplicate it. Duplicate it. Now move it. Okay. Scale that up. Move it over where the ear would be. I'm going to rotate it about there. Put it where I want the ear to be. Take my move tool this time and open it wider and make it go down. And I think like dragons would have like fins here and here, and then have it there and then down here. So that's kind of feeling like a dragon, a start to a dragon ear. And I'm gonna go in with my Damien standard, and I'm gonna cut in the inside of it. But I think with these, I'm gonna hold Alt and kind of give it the ribs. I think I did this on the thing last week too. And they would still have, oh, I'm supposed to go in, oh, because I'm on Damien. All right, so I'm gonna pull that in, and then I'm gonna really just kind of feel out the spikes here, or the fins, or whatever they are. I'm gonna go back to this one, and I'm gonna pull that ear in a little bit. What this is doing is just pushing it in. Get a pretty deep ear hole. I mean, you gotta look at from all the angles, right? So then this angle is like way too puffy. All right, so I'm gonna put it in like that, and just like that, we have an ear. That's looking a little puffy still, so I'm gonna pull that out, shrink that down, push it in. I want them to flare out. Now, like cuteness, could be like have big ears, right? So let's see how that. Yeah, that's what you do. Just like that. I want to have this little curve in the ears. That worked out way better than I expected it to. All right, so here we're going to do the whole mirror thing. Go to deformation, mirror, and then we're going to go back to take some symmetry off, go back to geometry, mirror and weld, see if we have there. And now this thing has two big ears. If I turn the symmetry back on, I can kind of mess with this. I'm going to duplicate this since we're still at pretty much low geometry, and I'm going to hide one of them just because I like where they're at now, and I know if I push it somewhere, it's going to be difficult to get it back to where it was. So let's just see what this does. See, that's also a cute factor there. Have it big like that. All right, so how far am I? We're 33 minutes. Now the thing is do I sculpt the whole body right now? Do I detail out the head? I think the last couple times I just detailed out some heads and I didn't really add a body. So let's go ahead and do that. And see where we get to. So we're gonna not duplicate that. I'm gonna undo that. Delete. I'm gonna use a ball. Gonna move the ball where we want the body to be. I'm gonna kind of tilt it where I think it would be cool. The thing is what you want to do is you want to keep it basic and little. So like take the thing here and kind of give it a little proud chest here. And I don't know, like dragons could have big old necks. Oh, here we go. We got to turn the symmetry on. Or they could have little skinny necks. So I definitely don't just want it to be. See, is that symmetry not on? Now it is. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can always mirror it later. All right, so there's one. I'm just going to see where that is. Maybe I'll put that neck up here more. Make it feel a little bit more dragony, right? But see, the bigger the head, the cuter it is. So even though it'd be up here, okay, we're going to duplicate that now. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. All right, and we're going to scale that up, make it come down, and we're going to kind of make this the belly, like that, and come in here. Now give it the chest. Now give it where the arms would connect, like that. It's feeling a little bit better there. I'm going to duplicate it again and figure out where I want my tail to do or be or go. So no, don't do that. And we're going to skinny that up a little bit, like that. We're going to kind of, bull is that? No, we don't want that. Grab it in the middle. Yeah, sometimes these just don't like to work. Okay, so let's give me some problems. I'm going to remesh that, and hopefully now I can grab it in the middle. We're going to grab it with a snake hook from the top view and pull it out. I'm going to use my move tool and make it thinner, kind of like that. I'm going to smooth that down like that. So does it feel like a salamander? Does it feel like a dragon? I don't know. Put the tail up like that. See what we got here. Okay, so let's do this again. We're going to take that. We're going to duplicate it like that. We're going to move it like that. And we're going to take it off of symmetry. Move it over here where we want the leg to be, the arm to be. And we'll take the move tool, just kind of keep a spot for the paw. Maybe put up where the shoulder would be. Come in here. Like this. Take an elbow back, take an elbow out, kind of cut that in. Kind of hint at where I want the paws to be. Smooth it down. And we're going to mirror that. So go back to geometry. Still trying to learn the iPad interface. Did that do it? Yep. All right, we're going to turn the symmetry back on. And we're going to try to figure this out. Did that? See, okay, we're going to do that. This leg was too far that way, so I got to stop it. I have to widen it a little bit. So now when I do it, they won't mesh together. They won't glue themselves together. There'll be this spot here because when they do that, then they become one mesh and then you can't really do anything with it. So there's those things. And I'm just going to play with the size of it. Like it could be up on a log or balancing on an egg or something. Is it cute? I think it is. Let's do the back legs now. Should I duplicate? What is this one? Yeah, we'll do that one because that's just one. Duplicate that, move it down. That's the neck. I said duplicate. Now we move it down. Look here from the side. Oh, you're on mirror. Take it off mirror. And rotate it here. Going to use the move tool here. Kind of give it a knee. Give it some haunches. And I just kind of mess with it till it kind of gets where I want it to be. So she, it is going to be sitting. This one, and anyway. And I think I'm going to like this. I think I'm going to probably do a few of these. I'll make my brush smaller. Get that really down far. I'm going to solo this. All right, from here I can go to the sculpt brush and kind of build up my forms in the back here, where the calf muscle would be, where the Achilles heel would be, that piece right here. Again, like I want to keep it simple, but I want it to basically follow the anatomy that I know actual creatures have. So that right there isn't anything that any creature has. So I'm going to push that in, even though I think this is up against the body. But we want to give it some sort of calf muscle, right? And we want to blow up the inside of it and then shrink that down. Take it off to see what it's looking like. And that's behind the elbow anyway. So just keep messing with it a little bit. Now that I'm into like a sitting pose, we'll give it its little dragon feet. So here I'm just going to take a ball plus ball, move that down. I'll move it out here first to grab it and make some sort of feet. I guess we'll shrink it down. Move it out. Point it out. He's sitting like a dog. And we'll pull out where the toes are going to be. Push that up a little bit. Push that up a little bit. Like so. But that doesn't line up there, so we're going to take that back. And spread that out a little bit. Kind of make it where I want my toes to be. Pull that up. There we go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sculpt these in different pieces and then be able to like put him in different poses and positions. Then I'll merge it all down and then I'll kind of do the whole thing to it. All right, I'm going to duplicate that. How long have we been going for? 44 minutes. That's not bad. Did I duplicate that? Yep. All right, so now it's kind of where the hands are. So if you look there, I guess I want to find my ground plane because I want him to I want him to be sitting flat. Take the perspective off. Turn on my ground plane. He's floating up there. So I'm going to grab everything and move him down. Kind of rotate. Does my ground plane move? All right, so he's going to be sitting on his tail. His butt looks like it's going to be off the ground. I could go back in here and pull this down a little bit further. That probably looks better. Probably looks more real. It'll give him another little bit to rest on. It's like a paperweight. I'm going to move that into the tail. I think I'm liking that all right. And 40 minutes in. Okay. So there's my little guy. Next thing we're going to do is give him some talons. Talons? Yeah. Yeah, talons. So I'm going to grab these right here, if it'll let me. All right. We're going to duplicate that. And we're going to move it. We're going to scale it up. We're going to rotate it till it goes the direction I want it to go. Move it in here on the hand. Make it a little bit bigger. That's not really cooperating. I'm going to duplicate it again. Straighten that up. Why not? There we go. Now we do a lot of action figure parts. We do a lot of sculpting. This is just going to be a standalone sculpture, I think. And I kind of like how it's shaping up. So these might just be something else that we can print because, you know, it'll open up, I guess, other avenues other than just, you know, if people collect toys. They might want these. These are going to be fun to paint. I'm pretty sure my little girl and my wife will be all over these to paint up once I get them done. Now, dragons. I get 4 claws. They get 3. Depends on your mythology, I'm guessing, because I know Japanese dragons, I believe, well, I say no, but I believe Japanese dragons have 3 claws. Chinese dragons have 4 claws. So now are these claws too long? Because I'm just gonna keep messing with these. They're not exactly in the position I want them. Let's see if I can shorten them up. Maybe we'll inflate them. And then when I'm getting frustrated, I move to a different part. So go back to this. Do I want his chest to be bigger? I kind of want that to come out over the shoulders a little bit more. Trying to smooth that out. So now I'm looking at the silhouette, right? So if you look up here where I'm pointing, you can't really see it, but like the silhouette's going to make it either interesting or not interesting. So I'm looking at the neck here. Is the neck too thin? Is the neck too thick? Will it let me select the neck? There we go. I feel like the neck will be thicker. Kind of like that. Just gotta look at it from all angles. Kind of from this silhouette, I want this to be more of that. And I think I would also like the butt, the leg to be like that, more like that. So like those are the muscles that's going to connect to the tail. Reference would be good, I guess, to see how salamanders connect, but I think I'm just going to wing it. I think it's working out pretty good so far. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking it. 51 minutes in. All right. Gonna try some back toenails, claws, talons. There's the word. And try to do these a little bit different. Let's see if I can get them like smaller and more round, like that. Let's see. Do I want to do less? Do I want to do 3 on the back? I mean, I'm going to make them the same, but I'm thinking just to see what it looks like. Do I just do the 3? Duplicate it again. Take it that way. Like for me, 3 looks cute. It's cuter, more cute. I think it looks like not baby enough. Like it's aging up as I give it more of the wider shoulders and things like that. I'm trying to figure out like what age this thing would be. But for right now, we're gonna take something here. I think these claws are too long. So can I just shorten those up like that? Inflate it. Okay. And take that guy, move it to the bottom. So I'm going to merge all these into one foot, but I don't know what order they're in. So that's the bottom. Did it move? No. To the bottom. All right. Select this nail, move it to the bottom. This is kind of the boring part. Reorganizing your sculpt. Make this small. Select that, move it to the bottom. Grab it with your finger, move it to the bottom. I'm doing all this so I can just mirror it instead of going in one at a time and mirroring it. But this is taking way longer than I want it to. Okay, grab it with the finger, pull it down. Okay, so now I can go to this top one, merge it down again. So those are my claws together, merge it down one more time. So if you look and I go into this mode, they're all different colors. That means they're different objects and different poly groups. So if I wanted to, I could separate this and all these would be different items, objects for me to mess with. So now, even though they're one item, I can still go into hopefully geometry and mirror and weld, and it gave me my foot over there. So I don't need to merge this one because there's not that many pieces. So we're going to do the same thing, go into geometry, mirror and weld, and now he's got a little outfit. Yeah, I'm liking it. The leg's still a mess. Go to mirror. But again, it's a mess because I can't figure out why the move brush is pulling these points out. But there's that. And I can go in. Hopefully, I'll have enough time to like do a little bit of scales on this guy. Okay, there's something from the side here. So maybe I want the chin to kind of do that more. That looks a little bit more elongated, less. That's yeah, that's all right. Let's undo it to see if I see. That's cuter though. I could always go back and fix that later. I'm gonna leave it like it was. Simplistic. Sometimes you just gotta leave it simple and not really mess with it too much once you like where it's at. And we're gonna do that to this palm too. So we're gonna shove this all the way down to the bottom. Boom. We're gonna take these before I do anything. I'm gonna straighten this nail up. Gonna shorten this nail up. Hit it with the inflate a little bit to round it. Ooh, that's too much. Almost. Almost liked it. Let's go this one. Shorten that up. I definitely got to get the fins on it before we call it. But okay, let's go back to this hand. You're going to move this nail all the way down again. Grab this nail, move it all the way down again. Grab that one. Okay. Move this one. Got about half an hour left. Well, less than that. So we like to go for 2 hours. I feel like it takes me 2 hours to get something together that I like, but we have plans today, so I'm going to be excited about this to finish it up. So I'm looking forward to this one. All right, here we are here. Those are that back paw. So we're going to merge down. Okay. Merge down. Okay. Merge down. Okay. Where's the foot? This is the foot. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. Did I delete it? No, I didn't delete it. Oh, I put it underneath of it. Okay, merge down. Okay. Back to geometry. Take it off of that. Back to geometry. Mirror weld. It didn't work. Duplicate. No. Delete that. Mirror and weld. There it is. So from here, like I could take any one of these limbs, thin them up, elongate them, shorten them, uh, do whatever, do whatever. You know what I mean? I could add all kinds of spikes. Uh, but this stuff right here, this is something I'm just have to sculpt off air for a little bit because I could spend hours just kind of going in here, making the muscles where I want them to be, kind of where. But again, like I don't want them to be too like defined because I still want it to look young and little, you know. So I do like this like shape down here though, going into the paw, almost like a, I don't know, I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Wish I had somebody to talk to. All right, here's this. Let's do some fins. Now, what do I like for fins? Like this ear is a fin, right? So I could take this ear, duplicate it. You know, if I was only doing dragons, I would probably like have these parts and like reuse them, you know? I'm going to use this split to similar parts. Okay. So that's going to make my one fin into two fins. And I'm going to center that up on one of those objects. And that way I can kind of, are they still together? I thought we split those. Okay. Let's do this. Let's mask that off. Take that off. Okay, let's mask this off. And we're going to go split unmasked points. So now it's one object, and that's the other one. All right, so I can move that one here. And you see it's kind of off to the side there. So what are we going to do to fix that? We're going to grab the move tool, and we're going to kind of just move it that way. Now you can see it pretty much still looks like the ear, but when I drop that down in there, now it kind of looks like, hey, undo that. There we go. It kind of looks like dragon fin. Stop it. Now I'm going to duplicate this one and duplicate it a couple times. Make it slightly bigger. Okay. Did I duplicate? Oh, nope. Take it again, duplicate it, move it, make it slightly bigger. I gotta go from all angles to make sure I'm not going crazy. No, I still will go in here and I'm gonna go in and change them all up, but just gotta make sure it's still kind of going down the center of the head. To just make them do different things. And I can still come in and do that. I'll probably do these fins down here. Okay. And again, they go small to big to small. So the head's small and the tail's small. So what I want to do is I want to duplicate these things all the way down. So now that I kind of have that clear vision on what I want it to be, now I'm just running on time because I'm going to be getting off here in a little bit. So there's that one. Still going to take care to go through and make them different enough. All right, duplicate it again. So that's probably my biggest one, right? This one can actually go over top of the other one too. I don't care. Kind of like that. But from this one, we got to get back to going small. So duplicate that. Did it duplicate? Yep. And I'm going to shrink it down some more. So that's a little too much. But put that there, rotate it a little bit, kind of sink it in there. I can grab it, just kind of make it do what it wants to do. That's not in the middle, so I can move it over. There's that. Duplicate it again. Move it down. Look at it from the top. See, it's kind of going that way, so I got to grab them all and move them this way. Duplicate it again. I usually try to color these things. I don't know why, but I just kind of like them to see where they're going to go. But we're not going to get that done today. Unfortunately not. But I kind of got a whole character started. So that is better than normal. Usually it's just a head. So I'll take the trade-off. Okay, duplicate it again. Now, if I have time, I'm going to spike both sides of this tail. But let's see if we can get there. Shrink that down a little bit. Duplicate that. Same process over and over. Duplicate that. Shrink it down. Did we shrink it yet? Probably not. Duplicate it one more time. That's there. I lied. One more time. And for this one, we're going to give him right at the end of the tail. Get a little feather, not feather, but a little tail thingy. Gonna inflate that. Get a little bit of mass. And from here, I'm going to go in and detail out all these things. I'm going to go in and kind of separate them slightly, pull them that way, select all the different ones, just kind of get an interesting shape on all of them. Make sure they're not overlapping or clipping through each other, right? I'm going to take this guy here, move it over here. I think I'm going to scale this up. I think I want the bigger flare. Take this move like that. That's pretty neat. Can we select this guy and delete him? All right, so we didn't get any scales on it today. Can I get some spikes on it though? That's the question. So here's a quick and dirty spike attempt. All right, so we're going to duplicate these spikes and then we're going to move them. We'll start with them right here. We'll make them smaller. See if, nope, make it mirror, make that in the middle of the two. I'm just going to duplicate these down the same way. I'm going to duplicate it down the same way. Duplicate it again. Move it. I might duplicate that twice. Yeah, my spikes were off center. I'll go through and fix all those spikes later. And I haven't really I said they're supposed to be goes from small to big, but make that one bigger. We'll see where I want the biggest one to be. Biggest one should be by this one. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to duplicate that. Move it up. Scale it down a little bit. Since that one's smaller and the other one's bigger, we're just going to copy that one, go below it. I kind of want that one to be bigger. I think maybe that should be the biggest one. Okay, let's go back to this one, start making them smaller. I don't know if I duplicated it or not. Duplicate. Make it wider. Make that one wider. I'll end up making the tail wider. Yeah, it's looking cool. Duplicate. 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 They're already looking different. It's going wonky, but that's okay because they're not going to be symmetrical in the end anyway. Duplicate. Make that one a little bit smaller. Duplicate. That should be the last ones. To make these real small. Look at that. kind of like where it went. If I want, I might put some spikes coming down here. I might put one coming off of the back, like a claw talon coming off the back. I'll draw in, I'll make this one solid mess, and I'll draw in the little dragon belly scales, and I'll do the other necks. The other thing I might do, and if I created it in order, let me see this. Maybe I can get this done real quick. There yet? No, not really. So I absolutely like it. I just wish maybe the head was a little bit bigger. So I'm going to try to see if I can do that real quick. All right, so we're going to merge. We go back to the merge thing. And I don't know if this is something I can do. So merge down. What are these? Oh, those were the ones I copied. I'll go ahead and delete these. Delete. Merge down. That's neck. We don't want that one. Yeah, I got too many. I got too many items. Maybe I could do merge visible. Maybe I just turn off real quick. Turn off all the other stuff. That's a lot of stuff. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to do that now. It'd just be me struggling for 10 minutes, and that's not worth seeing. Plans are to finish the scales in a video. Everything should be back except for the feet, right? Or we might revisit this next week. Anyway, I'm liking where he's at, and whoever watches this, thanks for coming by, and we'll see you next week. There is our baby dragon.